let's head west to Liverpool. Huge game in their Premier League title push. The long-awaited game in hand will be played tomorrow night. It'll be the last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. Our reporter Vinny O'Connor was speaking to Arne Slot this morning. Vinny, very good morning to you. Let's start with that injury news. What is the latest?
Yeah, well, there's a positive, I suppose, in that Trent Alexander-Arnold has been able to take part in some sessions so far this week, and there's a chance that he could be involved in that Merseyside derby as well. The expectation is that he will train. Of course, on the other hand, is the disappointing news around Joe Gomez picking up that hamstring injury against Plymouth at the weekend, and the concern is that, again, it's the same leg that has already kept him out for a prolonged period so far this season. So mixed news on the injury front. Nevertheless, I suppose Arne Slot has got that hope that Trent Alexander-Arnold can at least be involved against Everton in the Merseyside derby.
Trent has done parts of training sessions with us, session yesterday. So let's see how he is today. He will train hopefully with us again, and then we have to decide if we take him to the game, yes or no. And Joe is it's his same leg again where he had the injury last time. We are still assessing that, but he will definitely not be available tomorrow.
Well, Vinny, hopes of that quadruple over after the shock defeat to Plymouth. I wonder, is Slot still frustrated by that performance?
I think there was an air of that when he walked in today, Rob, to be fair. But at the same time as well, we've got to remember that Liverpool generally, when they faced setbacks this season, have responded well. Go back to that defeat against Nottingham Forest, and after that they went on a 24-game unbeaten run in all competitions. We saw what they did against Spurs in the second leg of the League Cup semi-final as well, having turned around a one-goal deficit from that first leg. And of course it was the defeat to PSV in the Champions League that they followed up with a couple of straight victories as well. So the expectation is certainly amongst this group here at Liverpool that they will be able to bounce back once again from the disappointment. That said, of course, Arne Slot, his attitude today was that certainly that defeat to Plymouth and the chance, the fact that the chance has gone of winning all 4 trophies this season needs to have an impact, and he's looking for a much better performance when they turn up at Goodison Park tomorrow night.
It should have impact, because if you're working at a club like this, you should compete for every trophy. We've said this from the start. And then to go out in the second occasion, so we beat Everton Stanley. But to lose against Plymouth is of course not acceptable. And so as a team, there was a wise man that once said to me, nothing good comes from losing a football game, and I completely agree. Every phase of the season is crucial if you play Premier League. This is the hardest league to win, because there are so many teams that can win this league, and there are so many teams that are able to win 10, 15 games in a row. So you cannot slow down, or you cannot have a few games that you are not on top of your game, because then all of a sudden another team catches you up. That's what the Premier League is, and that's why it's such an exciting league and such a beautiful league to work in, and for the fans, that's why the whole world is looking at us.
Well, it'll be the last Merseyside derby, of course, at Goodison. Vinny, as you know very well, it's sure to be an emotional occasion, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, certainly from an Everton perspective. And both sides are tied on 41 victories each at Goodison Park in Merseyside derbies as well. I'm sure there's an element of Liverpool fans that would like to sign off at Goodison Park as well and put a dampener on Everton spirits and making sure that Liverpool get that final win and make it 42-41 in their favour. Obviously, Everton want to avoid that. But I suppose the important thing, certainly from an Arne Slot point of view, certainly from this group of players as well, is that it's important in terms of that title race at the moment. You mentioned earlier it's their game in hand and the chance to stretch out that advantage at the top of the table even further, of course. At the same time, with that emotion that'll be swirling around Goodison Park, Arne Slot knows that they've got to deal with the occasion as well. It was an interesting quote that came from him as well. Effectively, what he's saying is he wants a calm mentality, but at the same time, no let-up in the terms of intensity that side can produce.
It's probably going to be a fantastic atmosphere, and that's always... that's never easy to play against, because every single time they cross the halfway line or they get a corner kick or whatever happens, the fans will cheer for that, and then you have to be mentally really strong as an away team to resist all that the complete atmosphere and you still have to be focused on what you have to do. But it's not only tactical, you also have to stand up to those emotions. But because I've noticed that also in the Plymouth game, that the intensity of the tackles, how aggressive they were, that was a quality of their players, but it was definitely also because of the emotions in the stadium. So we have to be up for that.
And I think we will see the Liverpool that we're more used to seeing this season as well, particularly from a selection point of view, because it was very different at the weekend, wasn't it? So expect the likes of Alisson to be back, Konate and Van Dijk at centre-half, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai in midfield, and of course Mo Salah as part of that front three.
Vinny, wonderful as always. Thank you very much indeed.